Happy 4th of July, everyone, 2016. I am your host, Matrixlord212, for this very special edition of the Everything Show, episode 723. I am with Scott. What's up, Scott?
And another extra little thing, the U.S. is officially 420 years old today.
USA! USA!
Using the same sort of paper clips and super glue to look as young.
Right. So, today, I got to say I had a great weekend. I just trimmed my hat that Sharon got me. I had a great weekend. I saw The Purge, which was not kind of American-like, of course, killing people. I don't agree with that in real life. And I even joked around about, what if there was a Whovian Purge? Don't take it seriously, people. Don't take it seriously. Don't attack people. It was a joke. But, yeah, it was a nice, relaxing weekend. I bought some cool shirts. I did a video about it. You probably saw it. I got some, sleepwear with, Star Wars and Captain America, Iron Man, and got a cool old Nintendo controller shirt and Pac-Man. So I didn't even get to show on air I probably showed on the Real Whovians, the 500th issue of the Doctor Who magazine that there's a fancy thing that comes in. Probably do that later. So it was a nice 3-day relaxing weekend. Just, we went out. Today we mostly stayed in, but it was nice. It was really nice and peaceful for once. So glad about that. How was your 4th of July? Or how was your weekend?
Well, it was good. I mean, I went back to work, and everybody's wanted to strangle me because I left during inventory. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But no, all honesty, it was a great trip at Dad's, and when I went, and then just so far this day and tomorrow's going to be my only 2 days off during the week, so relaxing. That's what I look.
It was funny. The other day, me and Chris were talking about, we were looking at the release schedule, and it's like, wow, they've really stopped putting out, the big movies now. It's like, I guess they feel everybody's going on summer vacation or whatever. I mean, yeah, we got, Ghostbusters coming out, okay, and then Suicide Squad, but it's very slim pickings. It's like one movie per month.
Yeah.
Really.
It's considered a sweeps month because, like you said, they're doing their own thing, and
right. I mean, I even joked. I says, I guess I'm gonna have to do a couple books now because there's not gonna be doing on the weekend, so I might as well edit stuff and make more books. But which I probably might do that, to tell you the truth. But and no Doctor Who either, which is just a little bit absurd. But yeah, so there's really this summer, it's like you got to really do alternate things to keep yourself occupied. I mean, it's not really going to be really movie reviews that much because there's nothing really out there that much. Other than catch up with these other TV shows, which, Louis got me involved in Primeval. Yeah. Started watching that, started doing casts on that. We're going to be doing a comic book report, show, to show, the sales of the comics compared to the way it used to be. But other than that, I mean, it's just, today I was shooting a breeze with people. I could have did podcasts all day, and I didn't. I just was really relaxing and talking to people off air here and there, and really trying to, positive, peaceful, dealings.
What you need on a 4th of July.
Everybody stay at peace. Everybody be excellent to each other, like the Bill and Ted say, and party on dudes. There's no reason to go after and attack. And I know people are bored, but just find something else to do, And that's it. Everybody go in their separate corners and do your thing.
Don't waste your energy on attacking people.
Yeah, it's a freaking waste of time, man. I know you can't take me seriously with this hat on, but
I did see an interesting video on YouTube. I thought it was going to end it, but it did. It was a firework, and when you looked at it, the way they built it up, it looked like a train track.
Right.
And I was expecting at some point in time they were going to shoot another firework up. But no, they just showed this slowly evolving train track of fireworks going up. That is.
We saw a nice firework display when we went to Staten Island Yankee game, which is at Richmond. What was it? Richmond Park. Richmond Ballpark? Is that what it's called?
Richmond County Savings.
Richmond County Savings Bank Park?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah, the Staten Island Yankees. Not the real, not the New York Yankees, but Staten Island Yankees. So we had a nice fireworks display that I couldn't put it on YouTube, but I put it on Facebook, you know, which I hardly ever do. But, and we're probably going to be going to another baseball game soon. I won free tickets. So,
Nice.
well, we saw our fireworks. I mean, nobody's allowed to shoot fireworks. You're not really going to see that much.
If you're in the Tulsa limits, you're not allowed to. But if you're outside Tulsa,
yeah,
fire them off, because that's what a gal who I used to work with. That's what she says. She and her son do every year. They buy fireworks and then fire them off.
Yeah. So I just want to tell, you know, while we're here too, we have new subscribers coming all the time. We have them from Reddit. We have them whatever. Basically, this is the Everything Show. We talk about everything from movies, comics, TV, basically all the entertainment stuff. We sometimes talk about real-life topics on here, but we try to save the real-life topics for topic wonders.
Yes.
We have Real Whovians cast, which we're all Whovians. So we go on the Real Whovians cast. That's our members are Real Whovians. And we do our shows, and we got basically the most podcasts on Doctor Who in history. Try to tell me we don't. And if you do, let me see. But I'm pretty sure we do. Then we also have other shows as well, like the Horror Cast and stuff like that.
Walking Dead Cast, if you haven't.
Walking Dead Cast that we haven't done in a while, you know, and then do Primeval Cast with Louis and other stuff. So, and again, we're going to do the comic book one soon. So that's what we do on a channel. We are made up of many different people from many different races, many different religions.
Many different likes and oddities.
Yeah, some non-religious people, some atheists. You know, it's all walks of life, all throughout the world, not just in America, not just in the UK, not just in Australia, everywhere. So
and that's what Doctor Who does. It brings everyone together.
Right. And if it doesn't, I try to, because I try to talk about it.
If it doesn't, we just kick you out and we go to the next person. No.
We try to get everybody on here and get everybody talk about their opinions and stuff. And it's hard when there's hardly any news about Doctor Who, especially like one episode per year. It's kind of like, you know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we only are getting one episode this year. So that's why the Everything Show at some point in time, I think it's about almost 100 away from the Real Whovians cast. It may overtake in the number count, which I always wanted to keep it because the Real Whovians cast was the first one there. But actually, the first one was technically the Horror Cast, but you know that was even done on a different channel, Matrixlord channel. But yeah, Real Whovians cast was kind of the second one, but that's the main. That was like the main one, you know. So that's on my main baby, the Real Whovians cast, and we're gonna still be doing them, not as frequently, but you know, as the news becomes available. Other than that, you'll see the Real Whovians here on the Everything Show.
Back to the show. When it comes to the airways, you're going to be seeing us every week.
You see us every day as it is on the Everything Show. So, you know, that's basically what we're going to do. And now, of course, I started getting back into video games again. So you may even see I'm not promising anything because I know Daniel wants me to start doing that. But you may see some video game stuff from me, like old school stuff, possibly.
Yeah, I remember the Atari 2600, the Segas. There was a computer game which I had gotten around 2002. I can't play it. I wish I could play it on this computer here, but I can't.
Mm.
But it was called. There was two of them. It was like part of the I guess the Millennium Edition. You got four.
Right.
You only played two of them on this one old computer.
Okay.
It was called Might and Magic 6 and 7. And Blood and Honor or something like that. But it was. I sat there one night, and before I knew it, was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And
wow.
Which was the same thing that happened to me when I was playing Ruby Malone's Wet.
I was playing. My thumb was so bad. I was playing Gradius 1 and Life Force, which is the second one, and Gradius 3 on Super Nintendo, and I was playing Ninja Gaiden and Castlevania. And my finger was so bad I couldn't even move it like hardly. And then you know what it was? It's not that I'm getting old. It's that, you know, just like when you exercise and you get like. So what I realized is that my hands really are strong. It's just that it's got to get used to playing video games. I get used to. It doesn't have arthritis or anything. So I just got to keep playing like I did, and it's back in shape then. My thumbs and my fingers.
The Ninja Gaiden 1 through 3 ones or whatever.
Yeah. That was cool, man. I used to love those games.
I got through all. I know I got through the first 2. I can't remember if I ever got past the 3rd one.
I beat all 3, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I know I beat the first 2. I can't remember if I ever did the other 3. And then I remember it was Dark Man, which was based on that.
I have that on that disc, that cartridge, 150 games on it. I was playing Punisher, Silver Surfer.
Side scroller where you've got to shoot.
Yes, Punisher, yes.
Got that, had that.
Yeah, but I'd probably get a game 2 this week because they're pretty, cheap and stuff. So up to $20 or whatever. I'll probably pick up one.
That's how much the original 2600 games were actually. They were between like $10 and $20. But of course, compared to the graphics they got today, that's
of course, yeah. I'm gonna probably get Super Nintendo games now because I have 150 games on that one for Nintendo, but they don't have a super cartridge for Super Nintendo, so I'm gonna have to buy it. I tried to buy Friday the 13th for Nintendo the other day, it was sold out, but in Nightmare on Elm Street they have for $50 for Nintendo. So I'm gonna probably buy those. Buy some Spider-Man games too for Super Nintendo. There's a few.
Yeah, I know I had one Spider-Man game. I had the Captain America game that you talked about, where you had like
Hawkeye and Captain America.
Yeah,
yeah, that was pretty cool. And the Silver Surfer game was really cool because it had rock music or whatever it was, at different music. So, but I want to get my Spider-Man games for Super Nintendo. That was like my thing. And I do want to get Zelda: Link to the Past because that was like my favorite one. I was playing Mario Brothers 2. I was doing the warp zones. I'm like flying through a thing. I'm like, oh man, I love this. And you know what? They have Balloon Flight. I was playing that. And Excite. But Balloon Flight, it's like you have the balloon, you have to jump on the person. It's like Joust.
Yeah.
It's exactly like Joust, but it's Nintendo's version of Joust. But it's with the guy with the balloons. But I want to get Joust 2. I want to play that. I remember that was like my favorite too. What else was I playing? I was playing Russian Attack. Russian Attack I was playing. That was from Konami. That was cool.
Yeah. And
then there was these I loved shooters back in the day too. So
the shooters were best back then.
Axel I want to get,
I don't know if I had that one or not.
Legendary Wings I got to play. That was an old one too. And I'll probably get the Punch Outs. The Mike Tyson's Punch Out and then the regular remake Punch Out. But I wish they would make them now. Like different ones. I don't understand why they just take forever in doing it. Back in the day, they popped out so many games.
Yeah, I mean,
now they're all like, "Oh, it's going to take us 3 years," and by the time the thing comes out, it's obsolete.
It's like 8 bits. Yeah, those are 8 bits. With the technology we've got today, it doesn't
be popping out. I don't know how many of those. It's ridiculous. Nintendo just totally, and there's two like Kid Icarus.
Yeah,
like you missed the ball on that one. I mean, they had a Game Boy game. Game Boy one I bought was great. But they didn't make anything since. Metroid, the original Metroid 2D, the scroller, side scrolling. But like the 3D one, I was never really crazy about. Even the Castlevania. There was that one Castlevania. Those Castlevanias were good. The 3D ones, they were pretty cool. But I like the old school.
Because I know I had at least one of them, and But going back to the original 2600 for a second, I still remember I had gotten because it was I had this case had the case that you could put all the cartridges in that in, and I was playing Dodge 'em. I will never forget it. And every now and then I get so upset I take my knuckle and I pop the little lid.
Right.
Well, I eventually popped the lid too much and it cracked.
Wow. What I went through, of all the systems I had, the ones that broke down the most was the Commodore 64 disk drive. That I remember I went through like 5 of them. It was just overheating. They weren't made well. It kept breaking down. I'm like, That was just annoying.
The problem I had with a video game, basically it was the Wolverine, that Wolverine game that came out after the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
It would go green screen. It would, and I must have went through 2 or 3 games where finally it ceased doing it.
That was like that PlayStation Fantastic Four game that every time you got up to that board, it would stop.
Yeah.
And 9 times, and I'm like, oh, why even play it then if you can't? You know, I hate that. If I can't go all the way through and there's like then it's like, oh, why even make the game if you can't, if you have that many glitches? You know, I get pissed with that.
And they figured out what was going on with the red ring, and people said,
"Oh, the red ring of death." Yeah, I remember that with the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated that too. That
I had the red ring. The only thing I had was, like I said, was that Wolverine game would keep going green screen, so I had to restart.
Right. Yeah. All right, we're going to get into some box office numbers. Let me get into tell you guys what made it, what didn't make it. Finding Dory looks like it's still #1.
It was a movie.
548 million worldwide. Interesting.
It was a cute movie, I have to say.
Yeah. The let's see. Purge is at about 35 million, already profitable, already technically could green light a sequel. I mean, you know, it made back its money in the first day, to tell you the truth.
They had their election day, so what's the next one? Impeachment?
I honestly think that they need to do a prequel to the first Purge. Like me and Chris were talking about that. Chris had named it The First Night, and I think that would be great because showing them going from the Purge for the first time and nobody knowing what to expect, you retain the horror value, the scare value. Now it's established already, but I think you need to go back to the first couple of Purges, and you could do you don't have to do keep going forward, because if you want to keep making Purge movies,
Here you go. Let's say they do an anniversary thing, thing on the news media. Here's what happened. This is about the Purge.
Right.
So, of course, it's going to be filmed, updated stuff, but this is what happened on the first night. And I don't want to call it found footage type of setup, but you would see somebody going around every now and then taking film of it, and it ends up the person taking the film is either one of the killers or they got killed during the halfway through the.
You know what I would do? They would do the first Purge, right? Not knowing if it's going to last. And due to the events of the first Purge, you don't realize it, but the bad guys that they kill are mass murderers. You find out that there was a mass murderer that was killing 100 women or something, and then some other group, they have because this is supposed to be this is supposed to be the future, right? So you can technically have a group like a Charles Manson group that happens again because it's in the future, and basically the Purge basically kills the whole group in the Purge 4, which would be the first night, and then they continue on, with the purpose of the government going after the poor, but it's more supported by the poor because they feel they don't know what the real thing behind the Purge is, but they're like, look, this killed all the scum and everything, and they don't know the truth. So they kind of use the media to make it well, look, the Purge killed all these mass murderers, so we need to do it every year. But the real underlying thing is that it was against the poor. So that would be the thing. You do that movie.
To lessen the population in a way.
Right. And then the person that's the hero that finds out the truth when he kills all those people, that it's really against the poor, he gets killed. And then that group makes a martyr out of that guy that, was purging, and they change his origin, making it he went after. So that they use that. So that would be a good plot to do. But they definitely could do more Purge movies.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't get too deep with the plot. That's just
no,
crazy.
No, I mean, come on. Yeah, we don't need. It's a horror film. It's,
right. If you turn it, you want it a horror film. Don't turn it into an action horror. Just like it's horror. That's it. I mean, make it like more like it's an action movie than anything else. It's not. It's a horror movie. So make it horror. I mean, yeah, I like this movie a lot. Yes, it was cool that they had a backstory. This one. That's really not what it's about. It's supposed to be really about, let's get into it. Stop talking. I felt there was too much talking going on. I felt it was like, they showed little thing. It's like, that's Purge. That's Purge. But they didn't really go like the original. Like, originally, you constantly had stuff happening. This one's like, hi, I'm this one, and I own a deli. Hi, I'm this one. And it's like, okay, can we get on with it? Like, But that was just me. But I liked it, though. I really liked the movie. It was good. So... And then there's a lot of horror movies coming out that look really good.
Yes.
That they previewed. So, I'm going to check those out. The Lights Out one I really want to see. Where the lady has the lights off and you see this creature like eating something.
Oh.
You put the lights on, the creature's gone.
Oh.
So they're making a movie about that. Trailer is great.
I'm going to have to look that up.
You got to see the trailer to Lights Out. Then there's this other movie with this.
I've seen it. I'm gonna have to go back.
There's this other. It was a thing on Facebook that they had with like that time was a short story thing, with it like you put the lights on and then there was two things like that. There was two things like that. I think there was one with a lady taking selfies, and then when she took a picture, she saw the person. There was two things I think, but they're making a movie out of something like that. Then there's another movie where a kid is dreaming, and the only thing bad about it is when he has nightmares, the nightmares become real.
Ooh.
So they try to drug the kid up so he doesn't have nightmares. And it's like a horror movie, so that's good. Then the sequel to Ouija Board, it's like a but it's good though. It's good. You have to see the trailer. It's like a prequel, but it's really good. The young girl looks like freaky, demonic, without even trying to make up. She's like looking like that.
Nice.
Like that look, like this possessed look, like the weird,
I will give Ouija props for one thing. In the beginning, this is spoilers if you haven't seen it. I know it's been out last year. I will give him props for this. The first time it happens, you see the girl go upstairs. The next thing you know is Christmas lights come, boom, dropping down, and she hung herself with the Christmas lights. And that, I have to say, that was that part was good. But then after a while, I started getting too hokey.
Yeah. We saw The Boy. The Boy, I don't like it.
That's what a buddy of mine said.
I went to a weird, disgusting place that, it lost its supernatural, ghostly thing, and it became reality, like some idiot that just was behind the wall and doing weird stuff with the doll from secret panels. Or something. I was like, that's terrible. I mean,
it was like my complaint with the box or whatever a few years ago.
And there's another movie trailer, The Woods, that they try to make it like Blair Witch type of thing. The Woods. That's another horror movie coming out.
As long as it's not like The Witch, which I've never done.
Horrible The Witch. I don't know what that was about. That was bad.
I tried watching it like twice.
No, we paid on demand. We ordered it. I'm like, this sucks. Oh, I am also looking forward to, besides Ghostbusters, I'm looking forward to Star Trek. Because I know people are still not happy.
I'm starting to like the Star Trek thing as well. Star Trek Beyond.
But it's funny because they're all signed to do another one. And I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to kill off the Chekhov character in this universe because the actor died? Yep. Or are they going to replace him? I would think maybe to kill him off because I don't really think that would be... I don't know how they would act with somebody else playing that role. Yeah. I don't think they could. So maybe they can make that lady part of the crew.
Yeah, and they could do something which they did in Wrath of Khan. You don't see how Chekhov dies. I mean, that's the one thing. Leave it like they're just saying he died on a mission,
away mission with somebody helping some other place, and then and then the next thing you see is one of those torpedoes, and they fire them off into space, and then they do the little tribute. I don't think they wanted to even acknowledge it because then it's like becoming the whole movie's about Chekhov, and they don't want to really. It's kind of shaky ground.
Well, they save it for the end. actually.
Well, you can't have a movie without explaining why he's not there. I mean, he's got to be either there or not there. Or maybe they could just say something that's because they can't show any footage, or maybe they just I don't know. They gotta do something with that. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm sure. I mean, it is a really different reality, so technically, anything can happen to any member of the crew. They don't have to be alive, you know. But I'm liking it. I mean, I'm hearing good things about the Star Trek TV series. It's going to be more adult, more, you know, not going to be corny or anything, which that's good, you know.
What happened to Lost in Space, sadly, because with when the Adam West Batman came out, they thought, you know, let's go more of the lines of the Adam West Batman to try to keep people viewed, and that's why it didn't last.
It's all corny, yeah. Crazy. All right,
we've got trivia for you half the time as well.
Yes, we talk about the old school stuff, which they are bringing back Battlestar Galactica to the theaters, new version, and Space 1999.
Based on the original 70s version.
And Space 1999.
I love that.
Back to it.
Oh God, I watched that.
Yeah. So that's what they need. That's why mostly that Guardians of the Galaxy did great, because there's just nothing about space. Like, I'm not talking like people kind of like hogged the market when it came to space, like Star Wars, Star Trek, or Alien. There wasn't, to me, there was never growing up. There was never a variety of space battle movies. I mean, very few and far between. There was like Ice Pirates.
Yes,
or there was, remember that? But there wasn't really enough to me. Event Horizon or whatever. There was like you have in action movies, like tons of them. Why are there tons of space science fiction movies? Not enough to my taste. Not enough.
The Stars.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So they need to like really up that.
Enemy Mine.
Very few.
If you could,
very few. E.T. wasn't even in space; it was on Earth. But I mean, not a lot in space.
No, there wasn't. I mean, it's like they limited their.
I mean, it was even Jason was in space. Even Jason was in space. Hellraiser.
Who would you team him up with from?
What's that?
With Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You could team him up with one of the past sci-fi shows. Which one would you do it to?
Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
Because they turned, in the Marvel comic book thing, they made it that the character was like a Buck Rogers character that woke up in the 31st century with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was actually Vance Astro, or Vance Astrovic or whatever, and he became like the Captain America of the 31st century, you know? So I know they're not going to repeat that movie-wise, but they are going to bring back Buck Rogers supposedly in some form, which they could do that on Netflix. They can bring, you know, you could do a Netflix Buck Rogers.
Hey, so
I heard something about Ghost Rider being on S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
I'm not happy about that.
Because they showed, because I can't remember what the picture was, from which show it was supposed to be from, but they showed like a close-up of a van, and it had like the Ghost Rider or something from Ghost Rider on the van, and then it says, yeah, this is what's the possibility.
Well, I'll tell you, I found out exactly what it is. Okay? They are taking the worst Ghost Rider ever created, the new one, the Ghost Driver, Robbie Reyes, and they're making him a character on S.H.I.E.L.D. on a car.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I knew it was something about.
So they're making it like sort of like a Knight Rider kit, demon-filled car with the guy with like a speed racer type Ghost Rider weird thing, and I'm telling you, that's horrible. I mean, I just don't. Nobody likes that Ghost Rider. I got to tell you,
his character.
Nobody likes that Ghost Rider. They're giving them like the crap. I mean, they're giving them Ghost Rider. They're giving them the crappiest elements on TV series because they know it can never be good enough to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. So they're getting the scraps. S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's where it was.
That's what they're getting.
When you said Shield, I thought, yep, that's where it was.
That's what they're getting. They're getting the shitty Ghost Rider, because when they do the real Ghost Rider on Netflix, it's going to be Johnny Blaze or it's going to be Danny Ketch. You know, so they're going to like throw it out there for a little bit. And then.
So if they do Catch, I wonder if they're going to have Blaze being Nomad at one time.
Well, Nomad and is a different character than Johnny Blaze. That was Captain America's friend. No, okay. Nomad was completely different.
Okay, I could have sworn that
Nomad was like his partner that was like became the title of Nomad. He was like another Bucky.
Okay. But
he became Nomad. Yeah.
I was under the assumption that Johnny Blaze.
No. Just because they had long hair. No, it was totally different. Okay. Yeah, no. It was Captain America's new partner that went on his own and became Nomad. Because he was either with Bucky or another Bucky or Falcon or that's what it was. And then,
Okay, here we go.
That Hydra Cap thing is...
yeah, it's finally winding down.
It's amazing how people could lie through their teeth and say, oh, no, it's not mind control. It's not. Yeah, it is.
Because he said the cosmic cube that is supposed to be controlling him had become sentient. And they're wondering if how long his own spirit will finally come through.
It's just garbage. It's like nobody cares, though. Yeah, and we're gonna expose that when we do the comic book report.
Yeah,
the actual sales of it, if it really made a dent or a difference, and it's not really. So, and in fact, that thing is skyrocketing down as we speak, I'm sure.
I figured it would be.
We're not. I mean, DC Rebirth was the #1 thing. Captain America wasn't even #2. So don't even we'll talk about that. And again, I have nothing personally against anybody. What I have the problem with is that you take a comic book company that kids and teenagers and adults read, and now you're trying to force-fed them the ideals of the writer, that the writer was from the Democratic Party and he wanted to vote Democratic, so he's trying to make Marvel Comics a Democratic company where he's basically infecting the ideals of the Marvel writers, where they're making like Trump into like a MODOK thing. I mean, this is like, I know it was in the Spider-Gwen, but I'm not really happy about that.
I think they should do that. Still, what I'd love to see is, funny if you go into a comic book and either Alex Ross does it or somebody slowly tries to make MODOK look like Trump. You watch. At some point in time, they're going to.
But they did put it in a Spider-Gwen comic. MODOK is Donald Trump. They did that, and it's like they actually did that. And the problem I have with that is that when I read it, it was never about that. It was never like, you never knew if the hero was Republican and Democrat. You didn't know if the person was religious or whatever. I mean, they didn't really put that in the comics. Now they're basically making a stance that Marvel Comics is Democrat, and if you're Republican, you suck, and the hell with you. And they're basically like killing off like their fan base. Half the fans they're going to lose.
Because since they've lost, because they decided to sell the lion's share of their cash cow, they want to go, okay, we're not going to do this here.
They got Disney, so they think they're unstoppable. And then, meanwhile, they can make stupid mistakes. The company can go under, and it's their stupidity, basically. I don't read the comics to see that Marvel Comics is Democratic or the Falcon Cap is Democratic or whatever. I don't fucking care about that. I want to read the comic about Captain America fighting this villain, or why is he fighting this villain, or what kind of storyline could you do to make it interesting, But how many effing times do we see the Red Skull with the Cosmic Cube? Think of something effing original. It's ridiculous now.
Mm-hmm.
Do something different. Like, you want to do something interesting with Cap? You should have made him become young a different way. You should have made something else happen to it. They could have did so many different things. It's as boring as F that the Red Skull was the one that saved Captain America's life, brought him back from the dead. That's horrible. Bad enough, add insult to injury that happened, but now you got this garbage. It's horrible. Like, it's a storyline that's not really, nobody gives a crap about.
Because they're out of ideas. Because they don't have certain characters they want to use this stuff for. They start going, okay, let's reach inside the old well again. We haven't used this.
The USA Avengers? What kind of shit is that? USA Avengers. I mean, you're basically making your comic book company a laughing stock because you had storylines where Tony Stark was very paranoid about anybody having his armor. Now you're just going to give an armor to somebody and that's the Iron Patriot. You're going to make, like, the whole team is like either Iron Man, Captain America mixed. It's like, it's terrible. Like, USA Avengers. Like, it's so corny. And then you shave your mustache off, so now that's a storyline too. I'm Tony Stark and I don't have a mustache anymore. Look at me. I'm younger now because I shaved my mustache off. Ooh. And then next thing, Tony Stark becomes president of the Marvel Universe. Like, that's what it's going to be. He's going to become the president of the United States, which is taking off of Lex Luthor becoming president.
Yeah.
And I just think there's no reason for it.
And I don't really probably do something where with Parker being head of whatever conglomerate.
No, they're basically grooming Tony Stark to be leaving, I think. I think they're grooming it where once it hits 2020, they're going to make that whole Iron Man 2020 thing, and it's going to be somebody else. It's not going to be Tony Stark anymore. I think that's what – because basically you don't have Thor anymore. You don't have Hulk anymore. So basically they've done everything but have Tony Stark, not Iron Man. So that's the next thing, that he's not going to be Iron Man anymore. He's going to be the president. And then somebody else is going to have to become Iron Man. And I think that's what they're grooming to. And that whole thing with the adoption thing was retarded too. So nobody cares that Tony Stark's adopted. It's not believable. He looks exactly like Howard Stark. It's ridiculous. So I'm not even entertaining that garbage anymore. I mean, I'll get some comics here and there, like Spidey and stuff, but some of the stuff I'm just, not really into. And the sad part is that eventually we'll get somebody that really is a genuine person worthy of a book, that they'll erase all this garbage. And then you'd be happy, like, okay, good, thank you. Tony Stark is the child of Howard Stark and, whatever. Thank you for fixing that. It's like, you got to wait. So, that's that. Again, I love Marvel Comics. Grew up, massive Marvel fan, but I just don't want my favorite company going downhill.
The first Marvel comic that I actually started collecting was Rom. And then in the 90s, I had that whole X-Men. I came after Executioner's Song, but I started collecting them during the 90s, stayed through them through the whole Age of Apocalypse thing. And I bought like a few DC titles, like the 1980s New Teen Titans.
Right.
But I also had G.I. Joe, which was from Marvel. Who else did I have? I got a few adult-style comics as well when Wizards Asylum was over by where I used to live. But it was pretty good.
Right.
Let's see if I can find some of the... Oh, I got a few of the Dawn...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Let me see if I can find it here real quick.
Okay.
Well, Lady Death.
Yeah, I remember those.
Lady Death. That's what we need to see. Is we had that one cartoon a few years ago, but I'd love to see him do another Lady Death movie.
They should do stuff like that.
Vampirella.
Yeah, they should do that. They should do a big screen motion picture of Vampirella with that Lady Death. Inhumans, they're trying to push so bad in Marvel, and it's like bottom of the barrel in the comic book top 100. It's like 99. It's like not even. They're failing miserably to try to make Inhumans replace the X-Men.
Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
I'm sorry, but I would go see, even though I'm not a fan of Aquaman, because I still think he's sort of a lame version of Namor, I would go see an Aquaman movie before I'd go see.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I would love to see, because I know for a time I thought Leonard.
And you know the sad thing too? Oh, not anymore. Is Namor? Yeah.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy.
You know what the sad thing is? The sad thing is if Marvel and Fox have that deal, then finally the Fantastic Four comic will be back. Finally, the X-Men, the things will be like built up in the X-Men. Wolverine will even come back to life out of that adamantium prison that he's in. I mean, then they'll start being like whatever. But now it's like the corporate Disney people are like, no, you can't. You got to cancel their books. It's so stupid. It's like, please, you know.
Well, I think it's kind of funny how the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four, everybody's saying, "Oh boy, that movie sucked," but yet to me,
I liked them. They were right.
Yeah, to me, I like both those movies compared to that.
Yeah, I liked them. I didn't. Wasn't crazy about it, but I really didn't like the second one that much because I felt, I wasn't really crazy. But I mean, it was still about it. It was okay. What?
They made him a cloud.
What? Oh yeah.
Like this.
I know.
It wasn't threatening.
Yeah.
I mean, I could understand them through all the dust and that. But at least they had his shadow on Saturn or Jupiter as he went by whatever planet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Our subscribers, thank you very much. Enjoy your 4th of July, whatever's left of it. Take care. Bye for now.
Ciao.